Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for another edition of WNYF TV's Sports Hour. I'm Kevin Syracuse, joined with Aaron Sember and Anthony Flores. We got a lot on the schedule tonight, from college sports to the pros, but let's start with our college hockey team, the Fredonia State Blue Devils, who unfortunately fell to the Geneseo Knights 7-1 in the SUNY Men's Hockey Championship game in Geneseo this past Saturday night. The loss ended Fredonia's Cinderella run through the conference tournament. Seated at number 5 at the start of play, the Blue Devils had road wins at Plattsburgh and Oswego before falling on Geneseo ice for the 7th straight time. The win earned Geneseo its 3rd conference title in the last 5 seasons, all in even years, and a spot in the NCAA Division III tournament. The Knights will learn their opponent during the NCAA selection show this yesterday morning. Sorry, we don't have the stats on that yet. Back to the game, though. Senior center Sam Wilbur had the lone Fredonia goal, while senior defenseman Oscar Gerhardsen and junior winger Jacob Hines were named to the all-tournament team. Junior goaltender Eric Bogart made 24 saves in relief. Wilbur scored Fredonia's goal at the 15-14 mark of the first period. With the team skating 4-on-4, he won the draw and crashed the net where he tipped in a rebound following a shot from the left point. It was Wilbur's 12th goal of the season and his 80th career point in 77 career games. He was playing in his final collegiate game. Also taking the ice for the final time were Fredonia defenseman Jamie Young and Oscar Gerhardsen and reserve goaltender Nick Harper. And today, Jeff Meredith was named the 2017-18 SUNY Men's Hockey Coach of the Year. In a season which saw him surpass a 400-win plateau, Meredith guided the Blue Devils to a 13-11-4 final record, including the road wins in the SUNY tournament over Plattsburgh and Oswego before falling to Geneseo in this past Saturday's championship game. He did so without placing a single player on the 18-member SUNY All-Conference team. Instead, the Blue Devils relied on balanced scoring and timely goaltending, and they had 11 players with 10 or more points this season. It was Meredith's 3rd SUNY Coach of the Year award. The others came in 1990 and 91 and the 93-94 season, and his team's 7th championship game appearance in his 30-season tenure. It's obviously a really nice honor, he said upon learning of the award, but I think anyone who knows about teams and organizations, it's not about one person, it's about a lot of people. Meredith had high praise for his assistant coach, Mike Lysich, a former SUNY Cortland player who has been with the Fredonia program the last 4 years. He's just an amazing young coach, Meredith said. His hockey knowledge is off the charts. Much of the success we had this year is directly related to Mike. I've been nothing but impressed with him. I've been fortunate to have great young assistants, and Mike is at the top of the pile.
And for Fredonia baseball, Fredonia outfielder Steve Sapowski has been selected as Player of the Week, while Fredonia Luke, God, these Polish names, Kazuski, or whatever that is, I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce your name, has been selected as the Pitcher of the Week. Sapowski had led the Devils to a 3-1 week win, and in addition to hitting about 500, 7 for 14, Sapowski also threw out that would-be go-ahead run at the plate in the 8th inning of a 4-4 game versus Eastern Mennonite. Sapowski tied the game scoring from second base on a wild pitch in the top of the 8th as Fredonia held on for the 6-5 win. Opening day, he was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a 10-0 win over Johnson and Wales. Kazuski went 5 scoreless innings and a 10-0 shutout. Sorry. God, this is not my
Shout
day.
out to the shutout.
Yeah, yep. On opening day, he allowed 2 hits and struck out 5 in the team's first win of the season. Senior Bailey Gunther completed the shutout with a 4-inning save. And also, this was the 3rd straight year that the Devils went 3-1 in Myrtle Beach. The Blue Devils are participating in the Rustmat Invitational in Central Florida from March 8th to March 17th. They will return home for a game against Medaille on March 21st.
And in men's track and field, Justin Haynes finished 2nd in the men's pole vault at Friday's All-Atlantic Region track and field meet. Haynes cleared 4.71 meters, 15 feet, 5.5 inches, good for 18 points. He entered the meet at number 22 on the NCAA Division III performance list. Also, Damone Brown, a senior, finished 4th in the men's shot put. Brown's best throw of the day traveled 15.28 meters, 50 feet and 1/3 and 1/5 inch, which earned 5 team points. Mitchell Pasiga was 7th after 4 events in the men's heptathlon. In other Friday events, for men's triple jump, Dan Sudin was 11th and Jonah McGrath was 12th. Both are freshmen. Men's 5,000 meter, Ethan Francis finished 14th. He's a junior. Sudin is scheduled to complete Saturday. Is scheduled to compete. Oh, I guess Sudin already competed last Saturday in the men's long jump. For the women's section for track and field, Fredonia senior Michaela Capistrani is headed what?
Senior
is headed to her first NCAA Division III meet in the women's pole vault. She will compete Friday at the Birmingham Crossplex in Birmingham, Alabama. Her event is scheduled for 11 a.m. Friday. She qualified for nationals on the strength of her school record vault of 3.69 meters last Saturday during the All-Atlantic Regional Track and Field Championship meet at Ithaca College. Although that was 1 centimeter short than what she needed, she earned her spot Monday afternoon when one of the original 17 qualifiers withdrew from the event. Other Fredonia women in the top 50 of the NCAA performance lists are senior Kristen Sawyer. She tied for 46th place in the pole vault. Freshman Cassie Seraphin tied for 43rd in the triple jump. Senior Rachel Williams, 42nd in the 20-pound weight throw. And senior Brittany Feldman, 19th in the 400 meter. And yeah, that's all for the sports.
At least locally.
Yeah, locally, obviously. What did you... It's very, sad to hear about the hockey team, but obviously, like you said, Cinderella story. It was so impressive for us to at least, get that far. And that's, I feel like that was, the biggest accomplishment. Obviously, we knew going into the weekend that the Knights were not a team to play with, and sadly, they showed their full brute strength to us. And I feel that next year, we'll have that determination to try to be number one. And I feel like we could be that number one. As the coach was saying, from what he said about with the other assistant coach and everything like that, they have a good team to work around because of the fact that they work off of each other. Even though that's most sports, it's just the fact that they, even though like he said, no one was selected to the all team, the all Atlantic team or whatever.
Yeah, the all SUNY team.
Yeah, they all just work for each. I feel like it was a hard choice if they were to pick someone because everyone is in that good skill set that that if they were to choose someone, it would be a hard choice. I feel like, and I don't know. That's my input on it, but I really hope that we could keep this going, get into the playoffs and prosper and be great. And yeah, that's my take on it. I really don't know, Mike.
Yeah, like you said, it would be kind of hard to choose which guy to select to that all SUNY team because, like I said earlier, they had 11 guys score 10 or more points. So they had a lot of just distribution in the scoring department. And those 11 guys were Sam Wilbur, Jacob Hines, Victor Tracy, Jimmy Morgan, Ryan Dunn, Tyler Ryder, Mike Freeman, Ryan Dunner, Todd Shaws, Bobby Polachek, and Josh Biasula. So they had a lot of scoring from many different guys this year, and they only have 4 seniors. So like you said, next year, hopefully they will be just as good, if not better.
Baseball is getting off to an impressive start. I don't know a lot about baseball and how many games they play, but I feel like it's a lot because in 1 week they play 4 games. So I don't know if that's the norm or how many they actually play for.
I mean, most baseball seasons are really long in any league, any high school, middle school, a regular league that you play for fun out in any part of the city or you are from. But baseball itself is usually a long game and a very long season no matter where you're playing and how you're playing it. And they did end up winning, going 3-1 in Myrtle Beach over the last couple times, and that shows that they are very good in this area, and their team is a strong baseball team, and I don't think it's something to mess with. And they're showing that they are strong already early in the season, which is very impressive, and it's going to be very fortunate to see them keep playing well for later in the season. And
just another thing about hockey, I apologize for not having this fact a few minutes ago, but I just found out Geneseo will be playing Hobart March 10th at 7 p.m. in the D3 tournament. So those
anyone win, please, anyone but Geneseo. Just,
yeah.
They're like the Patriots for our school. We're like the Bills and they're the Patriots. They're just a dynasty.
Yeah. But as for Fredonia, like you said, it was a great season. It was a great Cinderella story because a lot of people counted them out. They were the 5th seed. They were, I think, only 11, 10, and 4 when the tournament started. So for them to win in Plattsburgh and then in Oswego, who was nationally ranked, that was great to see. It was just unfortunate that it was such a
tough
wide margin in the scoring department in the Geneseo game.
Yeah. It's a really, like you guys said, that you feel like they'll come back really strong next season. I feel like they will, but that's also heartbreaking in a sense as well, because the fact that they lost by 6 goals is just crushing to your soul after what you thought would have been a complete Cinderella story and not just part of a Cinderella story.
But I think overall, when you look at the whole season and where they started and where they finished, they're going to have a lot of motivation and momentum going into next year. And like I said, they only have 4 seniors that are graduating this year, so they have a good chunk of their team returning, plus all the new guys. So I think we'll have, like I said,
it's just hopefully they can beat
Geneseo. A better team next year.
It's just hopefully they can beat Geneseo because they've taken 7 straight L's, which is really disheartening.
The good news about men's track and field, although the indoor season's over, the outdoor season is starting very soon. So
we can finally see you run.
I don't run, but hopefully we get to see a lot more news about everyone on the team and all the good stuff. Yeah.
And speaking of more news, we have to take a break, but we have more news coming for you when we come back from this commercial.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And welcome back. So in other news of...
More news?
Okay. Other news, more news from our Fredonia sports. The William Smith College at Fredonia women's lacrosse game scheduled for this past Saturday, March 3rd, was postponed due to the weekend snowstorm that dumped several inches of snow across the Northeast. The teams are working on finding a mutually agreeable date to reschedule the game, and the Blue Devils are now off until Thursday, March 8th, when they meet John Carroll University in Englewood, Florida.
Man, everyone gets to go to Florida. I want to go to Florida. What the heck? Tired of the cold. Man.
Join one of the teams.
It's too much work.
Well, switching over to the pros, the Buffalo Bills today signed Chris Ivory to a 2-year deal. We talked about this last week. There were some rumors that he was in town on a visit, and nothing was official yet. But today, the Bills announced they made it official. They signed Chris Ivory to a 2-year deal worth $5.5 million in base salary and $3.25 million guaranteed in the first year. So, what do you guys think about this move for the Bills?
Like I said last week, I believe that Ivory is a very good backup and or starter for a team that may need a running back. Buffalo obviously does not need a running back. They have the great LaShawn McCoy. But if McCoy has a bad history of ankle problems, obviously, as we know, hamstring that too. So if he were to go down, Ivory would be a good starter.
Yeah.
Without starting this season.
So a backup.
Yes.
Yes. No, but for me, I personally think that's a good pickup for the Bills because, like you said, and I said last week as well, that Chris Ivory's not a bad running back. He's a capable starter, not one of the best starters at the running back position, but he is capable, and he's shown, as Aaron said last week, that he's experienced playing for the Jets and whatnot. And you said that he had some of his best seasons with the Jets as a running back, and I feel like Chris Ivory, he's more of a power back, and as we know, Shady McCoy is a speed back. And when you have that speed back and the power back combo, I feel like that's very good because if you have two speed backs, they're going to obviously catch on and they're going to know what to do to stop the speed back. But if you have a power back, they're going to have to worry about him running up the gut, and then they have to worry about Shady going on the outside with his blockers and getting out there into traffic and then free and then scoring touchdowns. And I feel like Chris Ivory would be very good for when the team needs less yards. Instead of like 1st and 10, they'll run Shady. But if they're like maybe about 2nd down 3, 3rd and 1, something like that, they'll use the power back Chris Ivory. So I think it's a very good pickup, and he's a very durable player as well. So having that durability just in case as a security blanket if Shady gets injured is very good because you know your backup running back is very durable and he is most likely not going to get injured and can keep producing for your team.
Yeah, like you guys said, I like this move too because, and like you said, Chris Ivory is a really good running back. He rushed for 1,070 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2015 with the Jets, and he was elected to the Pro Bowl. And he's just a good running back. I mean, a lot of Bills fans, maybe I wouldn't say a lot, but I read a good amount of reports today saying that like
they weren't happy.
It wasn't a good signing because now we have 2 30-year-old running backs. Chris Ivory, I mean, that doesn't really matter.
He's
going to be 30.
At the age, that doesn't really matter right now. I mean, yeah, 30 is kind of old for the running back because they take so much hits and whatnot. But at the same time, like, it's good veteran leadership, and plus you have people with experience. You don't want to just throw out a young guy who doesn't know what he's doing or isn't experienced in the pros yet. And the fact that you have 2 capable veterans out there, that's really good. It doesn't matter about age, honestly. You could have someone like Leonard Fournette, who's a rookie and rushed for over 1,000 yards. You can have a veteran who is really bad, like Reggie Bush when he ran negative yards for the Bills. And you could have a mixture of veterans who are good. So I personally, I think it doesn't really matter about the age. It doesn't really matter, like I said, about the age, because he's a capable running back. He's shown he can be very good. He rushed 1,000 yards for the Jets before, and he's had some very good seasons with the Saints, as I know since I'm a Panthers fan, and he's had some mediocre seasons with the Jaguars, but that's because he was splitting the reps with past running backs with the Jaguars as well. Yeah. So I still like the pick, no matter what anyone says. I think it's a very good pickup. Durability, veteran, leadership, and experience.
Yeah, I do too, because it's not like we just have one. It's not like we don't have LaShawn McCoy, and we're relying on Chris Ivory to be our
You're not expecting him to run
running back, yeah,
1,000, 200, 300 yards and like close to 10 touchdowns a season. You're not expecting that out of him. You're expecting him to be there and be a good backup and to help the team whatever they can.
Yeah, because with LaShawn McCoy, he has a different style of running. He's very shifty and he's very elusive.
He's very shifty, but he's also not very good at protecting the football. I've seen Shady McCoy run like this. Like, no, that's not very good at all.
But like in terms of his legs, like he avoids taking those big hits, which is very good because I think he's 30 years old now too, but now with this pickup of Ivory, I feel more comfortable now because last year we had Mike Tolbert as our running back.
Mike Tolbert is a fullback. If anyone thinks he was a halfback or he would have been a good running back at all, you are completely wrong, and that's proven already. But as a Panthers fan, he's been in decline for the last couple seasons. I used to love Mike Tolbert. I still think Mike Tolbert's a great player. He's just in decline, and he's old, and he's 300 and something pounds. You're not going to get the man running down the field into the end zone for an 80-yard touchdown.
He's 5'8", 260 probably, which isn't healthy at all.
Exactly. They called him the fridge in Carolina. He was basically a fridge.
He's not that light.
243.
No. Okay. Well, he's
not 300.
Well, he's still a huge guy, and he's a short guy, so he's more.
He is more of a fullback.
He is a fullback. He's a fridge. He's a fridge. He's meant for like when you need 1 yard.
3rd and 1, exactly.
3rd and 1 or 4th and 1.
Not that he had a bad year with the Bills, but I think with Ivory, we definitely get an upgrade here at the backup running back position.
I still think
Ivory definitely has the speed on Tolbert for sure.
I still think that they should maybe go into free agency and pick up another 3rd string running back just in case, and also maybe a different running back with a different style, maybe a style similar to Shady's speed, or because I wouldn't say 2 power backs is not good. Maybe a cutback or just another speed running back because you don't want to rely on Mike Tolbert just in case Chris Ivory does get injured or anything happens, he's sick one day. You don't want Mike Tolbert ending up having to be the starting running back.
Well, don't forget we also have the draft coming up, and the Bills are limited with cap space. They had $29 million going into the offseason. So I think now that they already signed one, I think they can just draft one in the later rounds.
Yeah, I'd say maybe
get a
like
3rd string running back.
I'd say 6th round maybe. Draft a running
5th,
back.
6th, 7th. Even pick one up and
undrafted. Yeah.
But speaking of the draft, did you guys see any of the combine this week?
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley. Yeah, I saw a bunch of like
Saquon Barkley's a star.
Yeah, he's, as this article says, his combine numbers are utterly jaw-dropping.
He benched more than Luke Kuechly, who's arguably the best middle linebacker in the NFL. He has a higher vertical than Odell Beckham, who everyone is astonished with his vertical, and his catchability. And also, I forgot who he ran faster than, but he ran faster than a very well-known player in the NFL. But it's just the fact that he's had better combine stats than a lot of these great players in the NFL.
It was Deshaun Jackson.
Are you sure?
Oh, that's who it was.
Yeah,
I
remember.
Deshaun Jackson.
That's crazy. Yeah. Deshaun Jackson's fast. So the fact that you have him as a running back, he can jump. I think he can catch too.
And he had a faster time than Devin Hester, who was one of the fastest kick returners in NFL history.
He is one of the best kick. I think he is the best kick returner in NFL history. So
for sure.
That's pretty insane. Yeah. Saquon is he's a top 3 pick. Honestly, if I'm the Browns, like last week I said, Browns should go quarterback number 1. I think they should take Saquon first. Because if you take Saquon first, that leaves obviously all the other teams can't get him. You have the best player in the draft, the best running back to come out. I mean, there's been a couple great running backs the last couple seasons, but this guy is a freak of nature.
Yeah, you can't pass him up. Because
He is a once-in-a-lifetime player. I feel like just how he is the freakability and the athleticism and like what he's built as, he could be one of the greats right
Well, Anthony, as you said, if they go to Cleveland, like you say, they go to die.
I say quarterbacks go to Cleveland to die.
Well,
Trent Richardson, a different story. Trent Richardson ruined his own career because he can't cut into any. He can't find a hole.
Isaiah Crowell was not a bad runner.
See, exactly. I'm just saying quarterbacks go there to die. But anyways, but I think they should take Saquon first, and then they're fourth. You're still going to have some
another great
another
player.
possible franchise quarterback because there's so many good quarterbacks right now, and I don't believe that out of the since till their next pick with their fourth, so 2 more picks, those teams are not gonna need a quarterback. Maybe the Giants will need a quarterback. The Colts are in there too, right? Colts
are number 4.
No, they're 3.
It goes Cleveland, the Giants, the Colts, and the Browns.
So Colts don't need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Giants do. So the Giants can take one of the best quarterbacks, or if the best quarterback in the draft, but like the Browns could obviously take the second best option at quarterback and get a franchise quarterback and a franchise running back and a freak of nature in Saquon. So I think they should draft Saquon and then just take their chances on getting the second best quarterback they can in the draft.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
Which quarterback did you think surprised you guys the most? Did you see anything about like on the combine?
I have no cable.
Me neither. I just.
And I've been too busy to watch the films on and the videos on combine on the internet. So
yeah, I mean, I saw a video of Josh Allen.
I saw that too.
He threw 70 yards like down the field.
Like in the air, yeah.
In the air, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a rocket of an arm.
Matthew Stafford arm.
Yeah.
I heard though, I saw that there's a Josh Rosen, right?
Yeah.
I heard that I saw an article and it said a teammate said he is a once in a millennium type of quarterback. I don't know if that's true, but he is obviously one of the most hyped quarterbacks going into the NFL right now in the draft. This draft, obviously. So, I mean, Cleveland has a lot of options. They have Baker Mayfield. They have Josh Rosen. They have, who else? Sorry about this. Who else?
Josh Allen.
Sam Darnold. They have
Lamar Jackson.
Whoever
they want.
There's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, honestly, like I said, Saquon, and then they can pick a plethora. They have a plethora of people they can pick. Okay, you know what? Fight me.
I mean, you stopped me before.
Are we about to go on a break? Because, I'm going to end up having to fight this guy. I'm going to interrupt me.
What?
Nothing. But anyways, they have a great amount of players they can pick at the quarterback position to be their franchise quarterback. So Saquon, then I say a quarterback for the Browns.
Yeah, that's what I say too, because just taking a quick look at these numbers, he bench pressed 225 pounds 29 times, tied for the most by any running back at the combine.
Now I just remembered. Sorry to cut you off. He ran faster than Ezekiel Elliott.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then he also benched more than Browns tackle Joe Thomas, who was a 10-time Pro Bowler.
And he's like he's an Iron Man in the NFL. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And his 40-yard dash was 4.4 seconds. So I say you go with Saquon Barkley, number 1 overall, and then you still get your quarterback at number 4. So we have to take another break, but we will be back to talk more about the professional sports. Stay tuned.
All right, let me kill Aaron now.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos. Lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco, aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can. Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Seahawk.
And welcome back to the show.
God.
I didn't know we were on. Anyways, going back to the NFL now and the Combine, did you guys happen to see Shaquem Griffin?
I saw, like, clips of it. I didn't obviously see, like, his whole performance, but...
You learned a lot about him,
yeah,
right?
very, very impressed. Very impressed.
The Seahawks are actually the only team to officially interview him at the Combine. So it seems like the Seahawks are really looking to grab him in the draft.
His brother is also the cornerback, starting cornerback. So I think this is a great, like, glory story. That's I don't even know if that's, like, a statement, but I feel like this, I saw him do the drills with, like, backpedaling and catching, like, I don't think a lot of our viewers know. This guy...
You're just going to assume that about our viewers? I'm so sorry.
Well, when he was 4, he...
Who do you think you are?
He lost his, like, a portion of his arm, and I think did he go to UCF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a one-handed linebacker.
Yeah. And so for the bench press, they had to give him a whole, like, prosthetic hand, and he put up 20 reps on the bench press, which is...
And he ran a 4.38
4.3840.
Actually, that was faster than Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
And he's a linebacker, so that was...
The one-handed goat.
Yeah.
Watch out, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Jason, I mean, he didn't lose his whole hand. He only lost, like, a finger and a part of a...
You know what I meant?
Like, yeah, a finger and a half. I don't even know.
He lost, like, 3 fingers.
Whatever.
Yeah, so his stats for his senior year at UCF, he recorded 44 solo tackles, 13.5 tackles for a loss, 7 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles this past year. And then...
This is Griffin?
Yeah.
A pick with one hand? Oh, my God.
And then his junior year...
I saw him. He can catch. He's actually really good. He brings it into his body mainly.
I mean, he has to. He has to adapt because he only has one hand.
No, but he can...
I know, but he's only really had one hand, like, a lot of time in his playing time, so he's had to adapt. So it seems like
he's used to it by now.
Yeah.
And then his junior year, he had 57 solo tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, 11.5 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles. And I'm hearing that he's projected to go 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously he has some restrictions with his hand.
Yeah.
But they think he can still be good enough to help the team. Maybe not be like an every down linebacker, but definitely to help on special teams and in certain situations on defense.
The good thing about him playing linebacker is that people might not, if let's say he wanted to play wide receiver, people would be very hesitant to give him any chance. But the fact that he is a linebacker I don't know if he plays outside or inside, but you don't really need two hands to play linebacker. Because you wrap up, bring them down. That's all you need to do, really.
Yeah, but if you wrap up with one arm, but he's used to it by now, so. I'm just saying.
I understand that.
Exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't tackle with one hand.
Obviously, you don't tackle with one hand.
Or one arm, I'm sorry.
Obviously.
Well, after the combine was over, Matt Miller from Bleacher Report came out with his latest mock draft. And he has, at number 1, like we said during our last segment, Saquon Barkley going number 1 overall to the Browns. And then the Giants not taking a quarterback, taking guard Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame. And I'm a Fighting Irish fan, and I've watched him over the years. He's really good.
Yeah, the Giants do need a good lineman. Because Eli, these last few years, Eli has been pressured probably as much as Cam Newton. I don't know if
Cam Newton is one of the most hit quarterbacks
I understand
in the NFL.
that, and I know that would have gotten you irritated. But I feel, okay, yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's Cam and then probably Eli here. But I still feel like Eli is pressured a ton. And with this, if they do draft the guard, or I feel that,
Nelson?
Yeah, it's a good security blanket. Like, it's not security blanket. It's good security for Eli, or whoever they want as quarterback.
Yeah.
If they
don't really need a quarterback like the Browns do.
Yeah.
Their thinking is, as long as we have this great crop of quarterbacks, you might as well take one now and let him grow and develop under Eli until Eli's ready to retire.
Yeah.
But if they decide against it, it's not like it's gonna, kill him, because the quarterback won't even be playing this year.
Yeah.
But moving on further down the mock draft here, the Colts, according to Miller, will be taking Bradley Chubb, edge pass rusher from North Carolina State.
I saw his 40 time, and this guy is about 265 pounds, 6'4", runs about a low 4'6", so that's scary, especially getting around the corner on you.
Yeah.
If you're a tackle or anything, that's your worst nightmare, getting beat, and it's like, oh. I used to play tackle back in high school.
You play sports?
Yes, I did football. And the scariest thing was like these skinnier guys, and you'd be like, oh, they can't do anything.
They're faster than you.
Yeah. That's what and then you're like, oh, you could just manhandle them. And they'd be in your head all game because they'd have like such a motor because they're in better shape than you and everything.
So you admit to being out of shape.
I am out of shape. I mean, round is a shape, obviously. Round is a shape, obviously. So I think
you're not in a full circle. You're kind of like a deflated oval.
Yeah, that.
I'm just kidding. I love it.
But these edge rushers and defensive ends in the draft this year, saw a bunch of clips.
There's a lot of good defensive ends in this
group.
draft.
Yeah.
And the mock draft I'm looking at, it obviously says Saquon going number 1. This mock draft was made 2 hours ago, by the way. And then they said the Giants are taking Josh Allen number 2. That's what this mock
I think
draft
I'm reading
says.
the same one as you right now.
And it says the Denver Broncos are going to trade up with the Colts to get Sam Darnold. And I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea for them. But like, if the Colts are honestly trading, like if they were to trade with the Broncos, I wouldn't see the Broncos actually trading because like we are talking about, there's a lot of good quarterbacks. So like they don't need to train up to get Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold was to get picked up by, well actually they're not going to get picked up by the Colts because it's the Colts and they don't need a quarterback. They have Andrew Luck. So therefore there would be no point in the Broncos making this trade. But anyways, void all of that. If the Colts pick someone, I feel like they would go someone on defense. Maybe someone on, I don't know. They have so much they need to work on because the Colts honestly is a really bad organization at the moment. There's not a lot building around them. Andrew Luck doesn't have anyone really. He has no running backs since Frank Gore's gone, and they have T.J. Yeldon.
They're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah, they're not gonna. And T.J. Yeldon is a very good wide receiver, but he doesn't have a lot of flashy stuff about him that makes him great. He's a good wide receiver.
Oh, you mean T.Y. Hilton?
T.Y. Hilton.
Sorry,
TJ. I was like T.J. Yeldon.
He plays for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I was like,
my bad.
Did they sign him? Like, what the
My
heck?
bad. Anyways, you know what I mean. But and then they got Baker Mayfield going to Cleveland. I don't know. I mean, Cleveland could pick up Baker Mayfield, but as some coaches think, and some people actually think Baker is a very cocky player. And you were saying during the break that Baker had a very poor combine. Not a very poor, but a mediocre combine. He didn't play
not what the
his
scouts
level,
expected.
like his level that he should be. And I don't know. Like, I feel like if Cleveland honestly goes for Baker, it's because he's a headliner player. And the fact is, they went for so many headliner players. They went with Johnny Manziel. He was an alcoholic. He went to rehab. He would hit his girlfriend. Like you can't go for the guys who are headliners. I mean, like they missed out on Deshaun Watson last draft. He was a headliner. I mean, there's some headliners that you should go for, and there's some that you shouldn't. Johnny Manziel was one that you shouldn't have gone for, and Deshaun Watson was one that they should have gone for.
But
like if you're in
defense, how do you know?
But you know because Deshaun Watson was poised in those big games. He didn't care. He played like a professional already. He was mature. He was a leader.
How do you know that's gonna translate to
Johnny
the NFL?
Manziel was already doing all this. Johnny Manziel was signing autographs and all that. You just no, it's not good. It's cocky. Baker Mayfield right here is cocky, and I like him as a player, but he's cocky. He thinks he's the best. He believes that he's one of the best, and he is. But the fact is that he believes he's the best, and he's cocky about it. Shows that he's not mature. Shows he's not a leader. In some aspects, off the field issues might be here with Baker Mayfield with his cockiness level, and I'd say you go with the next best guy who can show that he is a leader or is willing to not put himself ahead of everyone because this is a team sport. Yes, the quarterback position is the #1 position in the NFL. It's a passing game, but you want a guy who's willing to get out there, learn, be a leader, and not say this is my team, I'm the best, whatever. Be cocky about it because he knows he's going to need a whole team to help him win a game and win a championship for that matter.
Yeah, and the mock draft that I'm looking at, it has, after Chubb going to the Colts #3, they have the Browns taking Sam Darnold at #4, the Broncos staying at #5 and selecting Josh Allen from Wyoming.
And here in this one, it says the Jets will pick up Josh Rosen at 6.
Yeah.
And I think that wouldn't be a bad pick. And the Jets do need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and for Quentin Nelson, for the one that me and Anthony are looking at, because we are looking at the same one, it says that...
We are?
Yes. He might go to San Francisco, might draft him. And, yeah, I feel like that'd be as this person who did the mock draft said, picture a perfect scenario for the 49ers here to land the best offensive lineman in the draft to help establish the run and protect Jimmy G.
And for this one, it says the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to end up selecting Minkah Fitzpatrick, a defensive back, which is something they really do need. And in a very tough division in the NFC South where there are a lot of good wide receivers, not on my Panthers, unfortunately, but there are good receivers in with the Saints, and there's good receivers in Atlanta especially. So this would be a good pickup because Tampa does need some defensive backs to go against these very good wide receivers in the NFC South. And the Chicago Bears, it says, will probably pick up or might go for Calvin Ridley, one of the top wide receivers in this year's draft. And they definitely do need a receiver.
I don't even know who their #1 receiver
They
was
have, I forgot his name, Meredith.
Cameron
Meredith.
Yeah.
And he's a very good receiver, but he got injured. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So if Cameron Meredith was to come healthy and have a great season, and they have Calvin Ridley by his side, who's the best receiver in this draft, arguably, that'd be very good. And that gives Mike Trubisky, who will be a second-year player, a lot of weapons on the two sides.
Not Mike.
Oh, my God, I'm sorry about these names. Jesus. My name is Mitchell Trubisky. Anyways, it will give him 2 good people on both sides of the field for him to work with. And San Francisco, as you said, Quentin Nelson, that's something they really do need to protect Jimmy G. They want to protect their franchise quarterback. I'm going to call Jimmy G a franchise quarterback already. And Oakland Raiders, they say they're going to pick up Roquan Smith, a linebacker. I don't know. I mean, do they really need a linebacker?
Yeah.
They do?
They just released Alden Smith, too.
Oh, yeah, so definitely then. Because, I mean, Alden Smith is a great player. He's just too many issues.
Yeah.
So that would be a good pickup, actually.
Yeah, and then one last thing here about the draft. The one I'm looking at,
the Bills?
They have the Bills taking wide receiver Cortland Sutton from Southern Methodist University with the 21st pick. And then with the 22nd pick, they're going to take a a center, James Daniels from Iowa. So what is your guys'
Then here,
mock
for
have?
24th pick, they have Carolina picking up Will Hernandez. Latino community, man, represent. But anyways, they have him picking up offensive lineman, and that's something we extremely need. And Andrew Norwell is going to be a free agency, and the Panthers are most likely going to lose him. I really don't want to see him leave because Andrew Norwell was arguably the best lineman and offensive lineman in the NFL last season, and losing him would be a huge void in that offensive line that's already complete garbage.
And what do they have for the Bills?
I have it.
Oh, okay.
So for their first selection
from the Chiefs.
No, that's
I know because
21st.
I know.
The Bills might pick Tavon Bryan, a D lineman from Florida, and then from the Chiefs.
Why? It says they'll pick a cornerback. Why do they need a cornerback?
Oh, we have Vontae Davis.
You have Vontae Davis and
EJ Gaines.
Tre'Davious. You don't need.
Yeah,
you don't need Mike
Tre'Davious
Hughes. Throw this whole draft out. I mean, at least this part. They don't need a cornerback. I'd say Bills should go somewhere with a wide receiver, or wide receiver somewhere else on the defensive end because Calvin Benjamin can't create separation. Zay Jones didn't really show up last season. So I'd say go wide receiver if you can in this part of the draft with the 22 pick.
Yeah, and just a couple other notes from the NFL, aside from the mock draft, because we're running out of time. There's rumors that the Vikings are prepared to offer Kirk Cousins 3 years, $91 million.
Wow. They should just
all guaranteed,
They
too.
should just re-sign this
And
guy.
Le'Veon Bell was franchise tagged by the Steelers, as was Jarvis Landry, but he's expected to be traded.
Really?
No, he just signed a
the
franchise
Bears
tag,
want
though.
him.
He just signed a franchise.
Yeah, but he signed that so they could trade him.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
They should just re-sign Case Keenum. Man,
I just want to see what they're going to do in Philly with Foles and
they'll probably trade
Wentz.
Foles.
Yeah, most likely.
will.
And I heard today the Bills offered Philadelphia a second-round pick for Foles, but that, like I said, that's just a rumor, so I don't know if that was true or not. But I think the Eagles want at least a first and a fourth for Foles.
No,
so
that's not worth. That's definitely not worth it. But
and just two quick notes from the MLB. Sorry, Joe. I know we got to get going, but I just wanted to say, the Indians agreed to terms with Mike Napoli. He's returning to Cleveland. The Orioles agreed to terms with Danny Valencia. And the Mariners got Ichiro Suzuki back.
That's three.
That's three things.
That is three.
Come on.
But
how old is Ichiro
44
now?
years
40?
old,
Okay.
and he's back in Seattle. So he's going to finish up his career, it looks like, with the team that he started with. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
How long is he? I think he's
You're continuing it.
But yeah, he's 44. He said he wants to play till he's 50. But, all right, Joe's telling us to wrap it up. So that'll conclude another edition of Sports Hour.
Have a
Sports
good night.
47 minutes.
Have a good night, guys.
And hopefully we will see you, not next week. We are on spring break, so we will see you in 2 weeks for our 4th edition of the semester. Thank you.